Welcome to the Slice Podcast, Episode 8, where I give you a slice of my mind. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez, and as you can see, I am not in college. I'm back in Stockton at home. And it's nice being back home. Can't had to come home because of what's going on right now. No in-person classes, so what's the point of being in Sacramento? I ended up quitting my job and came back home. I'm going to be looking for a new job very soon, but I know it's been a while since I've done a podcast. I just didn't really feel like doing one for a while. Wanted to get settled in first and get everything done with whatever classes I had to be doing and whatnot. But I do have a list, so this is going to be a very organized podcast, I believe. I've been composing this list for a while now, and I think this is going to be a good episode because there's a lot to talk about. So just being back home is one of the first things. It's been a while since I've been back home relative to, being at school. I didn't really come home much because I had work. And the only times I'd come home were on the weekends for something small. And I'd have to go back like the very next day because I worked all the weekends. The only days I had off were really Mondays and Tuesdays. And it's fine. I mean, I like being back home. It's nice being around my family and whatnot because, I haven't seen them for a long time. And I've been home for a little over a month now. And, I've grown accustomed to just being back home now. And I sleep here in the office. I would be in my brother's room, but I can't share a room. I don't understand why the GoPro keeps shutting off. It's very annoying, but at least I can see it and I'm looking straight at it. So it's something I can work on later. I'm not sure, but anyways, being back home, it's nice. I can actually eat real food because back in Sac, I didn't really eat all too well just because of we didn't go shopping every day to go get stuff. We'd just go to the dining commons or eat at the market, or for me, I just eat at work because I worked at a McDonald's. I think I can say that now just because I quit. So I just eat there every night or whatever whenever I closed. It's whatever because I don't work there anymore, so I really don't care. I can tell all the glorious secrets about McDonald's, like the ice cream machine. It's not. You see, the thing with the ice cream machines, it takes a long time for it to clean because it goes to like a self-cleaning mode. So it takes a really long time. So when the ice cream machine is down, it's down. I guess there really isn't any of the secrets to McDonald's. I'm pretty sure all your assumptions about it's whatever it is. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say. Oh yeah, no, I was talking about food. Being back home, I get to eat real food. Mama makes, like a pasta, or I grill a chicken or whatever. Weekends we'll do like barbecue. It's nice to make ribs like I used to. And, my brother cooks really good. Like that guy can cook really good food. It's very interesting because I think he could be a real good chef if he expands more into what he can cook. He can cook a really good steak and a really good burger. He's really good at cooking. Anyways, I guess that's all my thoughts about being back home. Besides classes. So yeah, all classes are online now, and I was really bummed about it because I've enjoyed the person-to-person interaction with my professors and all the other students in my classes. Especially for my film classes because we talk about a lot of movies. And we do the same thing online, but it just feels more natural and feels better in person. We have a lot more time to talk about it on the online Zoom classes because we would have already watched the movie beforehand. This is speaking about my film theory class in particular. Usually we'd go into the class, we talk about the film theory we discussed or we had to read about, and then we'd watch the movie based around it. So one of the films we watched for the online Zoom class was Peeping Tom. Came out in I believe 1960, sometime around then. And it's a really really good movie. And the theory we talked about it was realism. And it was really interesting because realism talks about how real a director can make the film feel. And there's a lot of factors to it, but in retrospect, it's really hard to do that because it's just the projection of what the director wants to lay out for the rest of the film. It's based on the director's vision. So what's real to the director may not be real to a lot of other people. And there's a lot more to go in about it, but I'm not really gonna discuss that further. I was really bummed out about my production class, my non-studio production class, because we actually got to work with really nice film cameras and a lot of really nice equipment. Big shotgun mic worth $1,000. Like I was holding something in my hand that was worth $1,000 that captured audio really really well. That was really amazing, but don't get to do it now. At least for the last month and a half. Finals are coming up in a couple weeks, so I mean it's fine what we've been doing. Um, and from our other classes, it's just, hey, read this, watch this, and tell me what you thought about it. That's pretty much it. So classes have been going fine, really. There's not a lot of issues I'm having with it now. Besides, I missed the in-person interaction about it, but it's fine. It's whatever. I actually signed up for my classes for the fall semester yesterday, and I'm glad I got them all. Um, Next semester should be my last semester as a student. I'll be graduating with my bachelor's in film production. I actually got to submit a request form because I've been in film studies for since the beginning, and I submitted a request back in the beginning of the semester, the spring semester here. But when I went back to go check on it, they said, "Oh, it's still pending," and they want me to submit another one, I guess, because I was emailing a professor. Because apparently I couldn't be in a specific class, my capstone class, um, the senior practicum class, where you basically just make a short film, from what I've heard, what I've been told, and um, I couldn't get into one of the classes, and it was the only class I can get based around the schedule that I built. And I emailed the professor about it because I know the professor. She was my professor in my lighting class last semester, and she's really cool. So she asked someone, "Hey, can you put him in this class?" But she ended up putting me in a different section, which is funny because it's provided the same time by the same professor as told to me by what I saw. But so I still ended up getting all my classes, three in person and two and one online. And instead of 15 units like I usually take, it's 14. And it's whatever. I mean, I feel fine about it. I think I'm gonna do really well, hopefully. Anyways, I think that's it for that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be crossing stuff off of my list I have here. I have a lot to talk about. Let's see, what should I talk about next? I'm gonna talk about some games because I have some free time being back at home. So I play a couple games whenever I can. Usually I'd be playing Halo 5 or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I have fun with those. But on this case, there's been some games that I bought and been having fun with. I think I've said this on the last episode. I bought a 3DS for $70. The original model of the 3DS for $70. With two games, Pokemon X and Super Mario 3D Land. Now, I wasn't so heavy into the Pokemon game just because it seems really slow. And I know people say it's really easy, and so far it is. I'm not really having a struggle playing it. But I've been having a lot more fun with Mario 3D Land because it's just I'm pretty sure a lot of people say this about all the Mario games coming out now, aside from Odyssey, that a lot of the Mario games feel the same. The same generic bubbly music, the same art design, same mechanics, but it's just fun. I had a blast playing it. It's Princess Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser. You gotta go save her. You get the power ups, but all the levels are fun. And it's the same thing with all Mario games where you want to beat it on the first go and you don't want to go back and play the level again. So you got to try and find these three golden coins, spread it across throughout the level. And sometimes you have a time limit. Sometimes, all the times you have a time limit, but sometimes you have a very strict time limit. And sometimes you have a very strict time limit and you're being followed by like a Shadow Mario or a Shadow Luigi or whatever. And it's really annoying because that thing follows you, and if it touches you, you die. And I've actually had a couple, like 3 game overs throughout the entire span of it. And I was curious as to what happens if you have a game over, because I don't recall ever getting a game over playing whatever Mario games I've played in my life. So doing that, I was like, did I just have a game over? I looked up like on video game forums, like, hey, what happens if you get a game over? And I didn't type the question, and people asked it before, and I've seen a bunch of people say how I don't think it's possible to get a game over because these games are so easy. And in retrospect, they are very easy. The level designs are very simple, but the idea of trying to get these 3 coins, these 3 golden coins, so you can progress to further levels later on in the game, that's kind of tricky because you want to get it throughout the first go, but then certain panels disappear when you jump and they reappear when you jump again, or you're being followed by the Shadow Mario, or you have a very strict time limit, or Bowser's just tough. Sometimes I found the Bowser kind of tough near the end, especially on the very last level, the very last castle you face him in. I had a very tough time with that because of the way the 3D worked. And I have the old model, the very first model of the 3DS, and it's the 3D on there works, and that's all I can say about it. Really, it just works, and it's cool. But sometimes the 3D will be weird if you move the 3DS around a little, and it's kind of awkward looking at it at points, and sometimes you get a headache because it's just weird to look at. It makes the background seem farther out than it actually is, and I'm not sure how they actually do that with the 3DS, but it's really cool. But with the newer models of the 3DS, I think there's like face tracking, so it knows where your face is going to be, so it kind of messes with the screen so that the 3D you know looks 3D and doesn't look off-putting when your face is moving around. And I think that's a really cool design for the new 3DS. But I have the original 3DS. But anyways, I think I beat the game in its entirety. I played the regular levels. I grabbed all 3 coins on each level. Then I played the special levels only as Luigi because, come on, Luigi's better than Mario. I think everybody likes Luigi more than Mario because, you always play as Mario. You never get to play as Luigi except in like Luigi's Mansion or after you beat the game. Or if you're player 2, you get to be Luigi. I just like Luigi more than Mario. I've always liked Luigi more than Mario. And I was thinking about a skit I wanted to do where me and my brother are Luigi and Mario. It'd be like Mario Brothers in real life. We'll just be doing dumb things like eating mushrooms and plumbing toilets, and that's kind of it. I think that's all I can really say in Mario 3D Land. It's a really good Mario game, and I don't see any reason to go back and play it more besides, I want to, just play as Luigi more because I don't have other Mario games right now. I've been really wanting a Switch though. Here's the thing. I really want a Nintendo Switch. I would get a Switch Lite, but I'd like to play it on the TV. I'd like to have the detachable Joy-Cons. And that's the whole function, that's the whole feature of the Switch. It's a handheld and it's a home console with 2 controllers. That's really cool. But yeah, because of the whole thing going on right now, because of the coronavirus, Not a lot of Switches are being made, and not a lot are being shipped out to stores. And by the time they are shipped out to stores, they go like that. And it's insane because everybody wants to play Animal Crossing. And I think that's really cool that a lot of people are playing Animal Crossing. I've always wanted to play it. I've never had an Animal Crossing game before, but it seems so charming and delightful. And from the people I watch, from the people I talk about, and for the people that talk to me, like my roommate, he said he got Animal Crossing and he loves it. And and that's cool because it's from what I've seen, from what I've heard, it's such a calm, peaceful, soothing game, and I'd like to, get a Switch and play it. I'd also want to play Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Maker, and a lot of cool indie games that they've been showing. I've been getting a lot of notifications on my YouTube about, hey, check out this Nintendo game. There's one called Down Under where you have to be like an intern or something. You gotta just fight a bunch of bosses and offices and stuff. It looks pretty. It looks really cool. But yeah, about the Switch. A lot of people are selling Switches for a lot more than they retail for because everybody wants a Switch. I saw one going for $2,000 on eBay one day, and I'm not sure if that's what the guy was asking for or if that's like people were in a bidding war and that's how high it got. But still, that's pretty insane. I would never pay $2,000 for a Switch. Um, and I could easily just buy one right now online, like whenever they go back in stock. But then I don't want to get stink eye from everybody here because you got to save your money, you got to use it wisely. And I know I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna buy it, even if they are in stock. I'm not gonna get one just because it's not like the smart thing to do at this moment. The smart thing is just to save your money and use it as like a rainy day thing. But anyways, yeah, I'd really like to get a Switch one day. One day. Um, okay, I have other games. Pokemon X. I've been playing Pokemon X, and I'm not into it as I was with a lot of other Pokemon games that I've been playing. Not because it's the same thing, but because of how simple it is and how easy it is, and how a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon appear. And I understand Generation 1 is the highest selling Pokemon games, and they're really fun, but they always have to push Gen 1 into every Pokemon game there is. Like just leave it behind. That's why I really enjoy Pokemon Black and White in Gen 5. Before the after story because they created 150, I think it was 150 151 all new original Pokemon for that region, and it's probably one of my Pokemon Black or Pokemon White. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's just so fun, so enjoyable, great story, and it doesn't seem like another Pokemon game. It seems like something entirely new because it was the last of the games on the DS, or the last of the Pokemon games on the DS at least, and I really enjoyed it. I went back when I got it. I got it the first day it released here in America, back in like I don't know 2010 or something, 2011. It took me like a month to play because I only played at night and had a real fun time with it. But with Pokemon X, it's fine. I I've never played a Pokemon game I hated. It's just fun. It's fine. It's really easy, and I wish it was a little more tough. And I wish the side characters were more interesting, but it's whatever, because it's still fun. All right, whatever. Other games I got. So me and my family, we're just sitting there one day, and we're like, "Hey, how do we play Wheel of Fortune? How do we play Jeopardy? How do we play that one game with Steve Harvey? I can't think of it right now. Family Feud." I was like, I'm pretty sure they got those on the Xbox. So I found a bundle for $40 with Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. And I always have this joke. Like I always say it around my family because I think it's funny. I go, we better keep playing Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune so I can get my $40 worth. Because like I remember we played it like once the night we got it and we didn't touch it for like a week. And it's a family thing we do on the weekends. If we just feel like we're like, hey, let's play Jeopardy, let's play Wheel of Fortune, and it's fun. It's fun. I was always against those party games for families based on those TV shows and stuff. Not party games in general, like Wii U and Wii Play, that stuff. Not Wii U, Wii Play and Wii Sports. That stuff's awesome. Like that's a family game anyone can enjoy. But Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, it's only fun if you have like group of people. Makes me wish I got it back when I was in college, because I think me and my roommates would have had a blast with this. It's just fun hearing all of us like blurt out answers that we think is right. Um, that's all I can really say about that. It's just fun. They're fun. Get it if you want, because they're only $20 each or $40 for the entire thing, and you can squeeze out a good couple hours with them every other day or every week or so. It's just a good time. Now the big thing I want to talk about here in terms of games that I've been playing, Madden. Um, I've always been iffy with the Madden games because I've never liked the idea that, oh, they're the same thing over and over again. You know, because they are, in retrospect, they're the same games over and over again. Just they look better and they play different. That's pretty much it. It's just the same formula over and over again, like Call of Duty. I've been talking for so long that mouth's starting getting dry. But anyways, my brother was like, "Come on, dude, get Madden. Let's play together." I'm like, "No, I don't want to get Madden. I'm never gonna. I don't really like Madden much." But no matter what I say, I'll always play Madden. I like it. It's fun to play, and my brother was like, "Dude, get Madden 20." And I was like, "Dude, I don't feel good spending $60 on a game that I really won't play that much." But got a discount on it. I got it for $24, and I was like, "Wow, that's awesome. Definitely get it." And me and my brother have been playing it for a long time, and I'm not good at Madden. He beats me almost every time. I've beaten him a couple of times, but I always start. Madden. It's football. You play football, so I like to play the Raiders all the time because the Raiders are my team, and it's fun. But I always throw interceptions, and he always beats me by a landslide or really close. Or if I beat him, it's really close. And it's fun. I like it. It's enjoyable for the most part, despite it being the same as every other Madden game. But what are you gonna do about it? It's just a newer version of a Madden game. It's fun. You know, it's not the devil, despite it being EA. EA is the devil, but it's whatever. I like it. It's fun. I can play as the Raiders. I can play as Derek Carr. Live out my fantasies of the Raiders being good. And that's something else I want to talk about. I want to talk about sports because sports are canceled, except rodeo. Me and my dad were watching TV the other day. Because the other day he was like, "Hey, let's put on the first UFC. The Ultimate Fighting Championship." And oh my god, that stuff was awesome. These guys, it's not how UFC is today. It's okay. It's basically a tournament, but anyone can fight anyone, no matter how big or how small they are, no matter what fighting style they use. Like, so to be boxing against karate. Really that sounds interesting. You can see a really big guy go against a really tiny guy, and it's funny to watch. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see people bash each other. Blood everywhere. It's really cool. I like it. Um, so we watched, I don't know, like three or four that day. My dad watched a couple more because that stuff's really fun to watch. It's totally different than it is now, but it's still really fun. But anyways, later on we were watching TV, and we had Hulu for you get to watch the live TV too, because they like to watch the news. And he said, "Oh my God, it's live sports," but it was people at a rodeo. They got on the bulls, and bulls are kicking and stuff, and they got to stay on the bulls for like 8 seconds. And I was watching it because wow, it's live sports. I miss sports. And it was funny because they were playing music, like not at the yeah, they were playing music at the place you could pick it up with the cameras on, but they were playing music over that from like the whatever broadcasting station they were doing it from. And I was like, they're trying to make it seem cool, but there's no people there. It just didn't feel right watching it because there's no people there. It was just the people doing the tournament, the people riding the bulls. That's all the people that were there. and it just didn't feel right because sports is cool. It's cooler when there's a lot of people there. Like watching the Raider games at home, it's fine because I like the Raiders. I watch football and I can scream out loud if they win or lose. But watching it at the Raider games, it's totally different. It's a totally different experience. It's so enjoyable because everyone's cheering, everyone's going, yeah, you know, make big run, big throw, or something bad happens, everyone's screaming, everyone's all agreeing with each other. It's a totally different experience, and no people there. It's weird and off-putting, but it was still fun to see live sports nonetheless. And I'm kind of sad that there is no football, or there might not be no football, or even baseball. There's no baseball right now. I'd be watching the A's right now, and I'm very annoyed by that because I know I haven't been watching baseball as much as I used to years ago. But even now, it's like I miss baseball. I miss knowing that the A's are playing and that they're being mediocre until they make it to the playoffs, like at the last second, just because they untap the godly potential that they could have. And it's annoying because I even basketball. I'm not the biggest basketball guy, but even if basketball was on, I'd watch it. I'm not really a basketball fan. My dad used to say he's like before the Warriors started being the Warriors. My dad was like, basketball just isn't what it is. It wasn't what it used to be. And he said the Warriors made it fun to watch, so he became a Warriors fan. He liked it. And I'd always watch it, and I'd root for the Warriors because it complete the trifecta of Oakland. They're the A's, the Raiders, and the Warriors. All playing right next to each other. I always thought that was really cool. You got the O.co Stadium, then you got, I don't know what the stadium was called for the Warriors. Golden, no, I don't know if it's Golden Center or not. I don't know, but they're right next to each other, and it was really cool. And we'd go to our my dad's friend. We'd go to his house a lot to watch Raider games, to watch basketball games. During the finals or just Raider games in general. We'd go and watch it, and we'd do barbecue, and I miss that stuff too. I miss hanging out with other people watching sports, and now we can't do that because coronavirus is a thing. And it's very annoying because sports is a big part of my life. I love watching sports. It's just fun. It was fun to play. It's fun to watch. It's fun to talk about with other people, and I miss it. I really miss sports a lot, and I hope the coronavirus. I hope it's curbed a lot in the future because I know it's weird for me to say that, oh, I want it to stop because I want sports to happen again, which I do, but it sucks hearing about how many people get infected every day and how many people die every day and how the numbers keep rising, and no one's sure how long this is going to last for. And I just really hope this thing just goes away real quickly. But anyways, getting back to sports, getting back to football. I hope football happens when it happens, or it gets delayed a little. Because if they do what the rodeo is doing, if like those rodeos are doing, those competitions, if they do that with no people, that's not fun. One, they'll be losing out on a lot of money of people not being there. Even the teams that didn't have people going to watch the games, they'd lose out on a lot of money. A lot of people going there, buying food, buying beer, buying jerseys and stuff. All that money, all that profit, gone. And they go in with a different mindset that they don't have people watching them to cheer, to boo, to go crazy. So even if they do that without a live crowd, without a crowd, they'd go in with a different mentality of playing the game because they don't have the fans cheering them on. They don't have people to disappoint right there in front of them. They'll be playing like it's a scrimmage. And and that'll be extremely weird if that were to happen. And talking about like going in with a different mindset. We talked about that in class when we were talking about realism in my film theory class, and it was like, oh my god, like, do players go in with a mindset that they're trying to show off to people? But do players go in their natural form? And not really, because they know they're being filmed, they know they're being watched, especially by a live crowd. Like, the live crowd is basically a camera to the players. Like, they know they're being watched. They know they have people to disappoint. They know that there's people watching online, watching back at home, watching in front of them. So they can never be in a natural form, even though they don't have a script. Like, they're not told act this way out there, unless they're talking like media or they say don't post this online. They're going out there with the mentality of this. There's a game and there's people watching us, and it's they need that crowd. And talking about realism in film, they don't go out there with a specific narrative that we want to tell this story. They go out, hey, let's play this game, let's win. I might just be rambling on right now because I just went from sports to realism, football to realism, but it's all going back to the crowd. They need the crowd to play sports because it's an entirely different situation without a crowd cheering them on. They go with a different psyche. It'll just be extremely weird. But I think that's all my talks on sports. Really, there's not much more I think I can say about that. Let's just cross that off the list. Yada yada. What else do I got? My check. Okay. Okay. This is funny. So I had to quit my job to come home. Actually, I didn't have to quit. I decided to quit. But my dad said take the truck up there whenever you can. But I didn't think there was really a point to do that. To go only for a couple days, especially because they were cutting people's hours a lot, or the manager was telling people don't come in because fast food places, all food places, not being shut down, but they're closing down like the people that dine in. You can only do takeout or drive through. So even when I was working within the last weeks that the whole coronavirus was happening, it was slow and not busy at all. And it was really boring. But anyways, they said one of my managers who I closed with that night, he says, "Hey, write down your address you want the check shipped to." I said, "Okay," because I never set up direct deposit. I don't know why, I just never did. Anyways, so I'm home. I wait for the pay period to end. I said, "Okay, so about a week from now, they'll probably ship me the check." It's been well over a month, and they haven't shipped it. It was like maybe a week and a half ago. I was like, okay, they haven't shipped it. What do I do? So and I was like, I don't think I have to call my store directly. I think I have to call like the people that own it. But I was like, let's call corporate first, and they're like, okay, let me redirect you to this number. So they redirected me to a number, and that number was dead. So I'm not sure exactly who I called after. I called another place after. No, I called back that same number. I was like, this number is dead, yada yada. And they said, oh, because the McDonald's you own is the McDonald's you worked at is owned differently. You gotta call the store directly. No, they said because McDonald's you owned was the McDonald's you worked at. I don't own a McDonald's. McDonald's you worked at is owned differently. Is owned by someone else and not like us. You gotta call that place. So here's the number. I called the number. It was dead. So I called my store. I said, "Hey, my check. Where is it?" And my manager said, "Oh, it's right here. We can't ship out checks to you because they're paper checks, and we're not allowed to do that." The manager you worked with was shouldn't have told you that were able to ship it out to you. So send us an envelope and we'll put the check in and we'll send it back to you. So I did so, and now I'm just waiting for it. Um, it's probably not gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be close to 400, but even so, it'd be nice to have just more money than I do now. And I haven't been spending a lot of money since I've been back home. I think the only money I've spent was oh, excuse me. I think the only money I spent was on Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Madden, and going to the store a couple of times, and my fee for Adobe Premiere, or just the entire Adobe suite. Um, so that's my check story. Now here's the grocery store story. Um, so a couple weeks ago was my grandpa's birthday, and me and my mom were like, let's make him a dinner because we don't know exactly what to get him, so let's make him a dinner. That'd be really nice. So she made some pasta, and she said, go to the store, go get some steaks to cook for him. I said, okay. So I go to the store, get some steaks, come back. My mom said, what are these? And they were chuck steaks. I'm like, I didn't go to the counter. I didn't go to the deli, like the counter where they have all the meats, the big meats. I didn't go there for some reason. I was like, well, this is all I saw here. These are like the biggest steaks I saw. And my mom was like, these aren't things you really cook. And I was like, I thought steaks were just steaks. I mean, no, not that, but I was like, I cook steaks and they're good. So I thought this would have been good. My dad said, go to the store and get some damn ribeyes. So I went back to the store after already going there to get some steaks, some milk, and some like bread and cheese. Went back to the store to get um, to the deli because I don't know why I didn't think about going to the deli or the counter where they give you the meat, the big meats and stuff. But so I went there, got some ribeyes, and cooked them for my grandpa, and he loved them, and I'm glad because I can cook a pretty damn good steak if I do say so myself. People say that, mainly my family, because I don't cook for a lot of other people. Um, I actually did some cooking though. Back at home, not home, back in Sacramento before I left. We had this roommate Ethan, and he was really cool guy. Loved him as I did with all my other roommates. And he always wanted us to hang out at the end, but we were always so busy. We all had work, and one day we're like, yeah, let's hang out this weekend. So one weekend we were gonna go get burgers from this one place, but it was closed. And we went to In and Out and we watched The Thing. It was the first time me watching. Kind of mad this thing just shut off, but at least I know where I left off at. We watched The Thing and I really loved it. Really good movie. Um, but what I wanted to talk about in this instance was the next weekend we hung out. We watched a movie called Garzy's Wing. It's an anime film. It's actually like an anime series with like 3 episodes, but it was compiled into like a movie thing. Um, for America, I think, or for the United States. And what's funny about it is that it's dumb. It's really dumb and stupid. It's about this guy named Chris. Haha, funny. I'm Chris. Haha. Anyways, he's going to like some high school reunion or something. But on the way to the place, his soul gets stolen from his body and gets summoned to this weird world where these people are trying to escape slavery and from this kingdom, and like, oh my god, we summoned you and you have the power of Garzy's wing, which just lets you fly. They're wings that let you fly, and that's it. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's funny. The dub is stupid. Um, it's oh god, we laughed so hard. It was so stupid, but it was a really really good time. But I actually wanted to make a video on it because it was so dumb and enjoyable. But it's been a while since I've seen it, and I don't want to threaten myself to watch it again unless I'm watching it with those guys again, because we had a blast watching it. It was so dumb. But anyways, I want to talk about what we cooked. We cooked cheesesteaks that night. Um, my roommate Devin, he made the vegetables. And it was funny because this was at like the peak when everything was bad and everything was being sold out like toilet paper. Not a single roll of toilet paper was left. Actually, no, there was, but we had to pay $20 for it because it was a lot of toilet paper. But anyways, what happened was we wanted bell peppers. No bell peppers. We wanted different cuts of meat. They didn't have any. No, at first we were gonna cook burgers. We were gonna do cheeseburgers, but they didn't have any. So we're like, screw it, let's do cheesesteaks. So we did, and I think I got like a bunch of chuck steaks, seasoned them, cut them up, and cooked them in a little. I have like a pan, not a pan. I have like a what would you call it? Um, like a skillet. I have like a skillet sort of thing, a hot skillet plate that works as a pan because it's deep a little. And I cooked the meat in there, and then we got these nice rolls, like artisan rolls, and we did the meat, did cheese, and the vegetables, threw them in a toaster oven, and they're delicious. Pretty good. It was just fun to cook with everybody too, especially back in the dorms because we didn't really cook a lot. The most we'd go out to the thing we'd go out to eat was Wingstop. Me and our roommate, because like we'd just be bored. Like, do you want to go to Wingstop? We're like, sure, go get Wingstop. But I don't know why I'm burping a lot. But I think that's in terms of food I really want to talk about. I guess that's all I can talk about in terms of food. Let's cross that off the list. Hope you guys are having a good time with this podcast. Alright, I got a couple more topics I want to talk about, but now I put out a thing on my Instagram last night, seeing if people wanted to ask questions, for the podcast. It worked last time. Let's see how it is this time. Only one question. This is funny. I don't feel like answering it. It's just for my sister. I'll tell her in person. What's the big secret? You'll never know. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna give an update on Piece by Piece. The short series turned into short film, turned into I don't know what it's gonna be anymore. Because I've sort of grown to not like the story after a long time. And it really was my magnum opus for a while. I was really passionate about wanting to make it because it was something I really wanted to do back in the summer of 2018. I wrote out a bunch of summaries for the episodes I wanted to write, but then I felt it was way too repetitive. And then I cut down a lot of the characters, and I thought it'd still be too repetitive. So I cut it down to one character, and now I'm not sure what I want to do with it. So that is going to be on an indefinite hold for a really long time until I figure out what I want to do with the story, what I want to do with the story I want to tell. That's all I really want to talk about that for now because I haven't touched that story in a while. But a story I did touch on a while back. I'm not sure when I started working on this. My cousin, he sent me this idea that he had. He said, "Do you think you can do something with it?" I said, "Sure." And so it's about a guy that wants to kill himself, but death tries to convince him not to. And I was working on it for a while, and then I stopped. I don't remember why. I'm pretty sure I just couldn't think about where to take the story to. And then my non-studio production class, my professor asks us, "Hey, what's this short narrative you want to write? What's this because this is gonna be the last assignment of the class, a short narrative, the assignment before that was the documentary thing that I did on my channel by my roommate Devin. I think a lot of people really liked it, and it wouldn't have been the way it was if it wasn't for the crew that I had, especially Ralph, because he had that gimbal and got a really nice tracking shots and a lot of good shots of Devin walking around. And I would have used my gimbal, but I wasn't all too familiar with it at the time, and I don't think it would have been that steady. But anyways, he said, "All right, you gotta tell us this short narrative story." So I was gonna do something about an orange peel, and how a guy uses an orange he has to determine what people are and how people act, because fruit can be good with a bad skin, or fruit can be bad with a good skin, or everything vice versa with that. Bad skin, bad, good skin, and good. You're never sure. So this guy uses an orange peel to help determine how people act and who they really are. Or just the orange itself, not the peel, but like he uses the skin to kind of determine it. And it kind of resets every day if he eats it, or if he doesn't, or if he rips into it, to see who the person really is. And that's something I want to do, because I was writing something about it for a while back. But I decided to take this idea about the death character and the guy that wants to kill himself, and I presented that, and my professor likes it, and it's something I'm gonna make. I wrote the script for it. It's a dark comedy, and I'm not trying to poke fun at suicide with it. I want to poke fun at how the guy can't do it because this death character, who is supposed to want him to kill himself, doesn't. And I introduced this other character, Lady Death, and it's a dumb name, Lady Death, but she's supposed to be this over sexual character that wants the guy to kill himself. And the guy's character is called Guy, because I just think it's funny. So it's a constant struggle between, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? And because I don't think my brother and sister want to film it with me, I was going to do all the parts myself. But because I don't want to shave my mustache, and I was going to do a lot of storyboarding with it, shoot these scenes this day, these scenes the next day, and these scenes the next day. When I'd play Lady Death, it was going to be with my mustache shaved off. But what I think I'm going to do is use old action figurines I have, old Bionicle characters I have, that I was going to use for Piece by Piece as the embodiment of Lady Death and Death. That, I think, it'd just be more interesting, instead of just seeing me, all the time, because I play me and me versus me, which I'm glad I did another episode on that. And and there is a new episode coming out very soon called Me versus Me Stimul Us. Not Stimulus, Stimul Us. I think it's going to be a really funny one too. I want my brother to be in it as another character, because my sister's been in it one time in the Christmas special, and now I think my brother can do this new idea with me. But that's in terms of all I can think about for the narrative to say right now. I don't want to say too much about it, and that no one wants to watch it, like how no one watches these podcasts, but I just like to talk, I like to talk in a specific space, like I'm talking to other people, because I talk all the time. And okay, that's all I think I can say about that. Dreams. This is something I really wanted to talk about for a long time. Has anyone else been having extremely weird dreams? Because I have, and it's really annoying. Let's start this off with the Star Wars house. So I had this dream where I was quarantined with all my friends back in Sacramento. But we were quarantined to this big, giant mansion house. And for fun, we'd pretend to be Star Wars characters, and we'd pretend one side's the Republic, one side's the Empire, or one side's the Rebellion, one side's the Federation, or whatever, And we'd be running around corners with like toy blasters and toy lightsabers, pretending we're in a war. It was just really cool. And I was like, man, I miss all my friends. I sent that to the group chat, and they're like, dude, That'd be so cool. I miss all of you guys right now because a lot of us had to move. A lot of us had to go back home and stuff. A couple of us, I think, because two of my roommates are still in the dorm right now. Um, two of my other roommates had to leave back home, um, and then I left back home. Other friends ended up having to go back home, wherever they lived, down south. But I was like, guys, you know how cool that'd be if we could just mess around and play Star Wars all night. And I know I've always had weird dreams, but that was extremely weird. I had that at least a good couple days in a row. Really made me miss my friends. But then I had another Star Wars dream right after that. A reimagining of Star Wars Episode 9, but in a more comedic sense. But it didn't get to finish, and that's what I'm kind of mad about because what happened in the story was Emperor Palpatine found Rey, kidnapped her, and took her to this like planet that he controlled, where all the people weren't like brainwashed, but they were under his control. Under his like governmental control or whatever. But then Rey told the Resistance, "Hey, I'm here. Let's fight back. I'm gonna get all these people to rebel against him and his army." And then I woke up like, that's basically Episode 9, but different. Because Rey telling the Resistance, "Hey, I'm here, so come fight." But it was funny because in the dream, Palpatine was talking to Rey, and he's like, "Stay, you stay. I'll be back. Stay on the ship." But then she just decided to run away. But the thing that stood out to me the most in that dream was a lot of I was watching it like a movie. I had this dream like I was watching a movie, and there was a lot of crane shots of long shots and really wide shots of like battles taking place and Rey running around and leading people. And I've said this before, I don't think I like Episode 9 as much as I did when I first watched it. Nothing will ever take away that experience of me watching it the first time. But I don't think it's a good movie. Just because of how jumbled the whole idea was. Just because of how jumbled the entire sequel trilogy was. Episode 7, great start to a new trilogy. It's the same to A New Hope, but I don't care. It's still enjoyable in its own right. Episode 8, pretty ballsy for what it wanted to be. I think it's the best directed, it's the best looking out of the entire sequel trilogy. But it's so different from Episode 7 that, and I know it subverts your expectations, but it's so different from Episode 7 that it feels like it's not a sequel to that. It feels like it's something entirely different, which isn't good for the most part. I know sequels are supposed to be different, but this was something entirely different. But I can say that I like Episode 8, and I really like Episode 8. But there's some dumb things that happen that make me go, no. And the story moments are extremely weird. But that's because no one sat down to think out the sequel trilogy. Or no one wanted to follow JJ's ideas or whatever. I don't know. In Episode 9, JJ returned, and then he's all like, "I'm going to finish the story I wanted to tell." And it's something entirely different from Episode 7 and Episode 8. They present too many new characters, and it moves really fast, and it's a really unsatisfying ending. All the characters we know from the original trilogy are dead. Rey is this ultimate Mary Sue, powerful goddess being that doesn't really get hurt throughout the entirety of the sequel trilogy. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Episode 9 it's weird. I don't like Episode 9 anymore. I don't know. And I don't really feel like watching them all again, except Episode 7 and 8. Alright, next dreams I've been having, because I wrote these down all the time. Does anyone else have these dreams where they jump really high, and then it takes them a really long time to fall down, but when you do, you feel the impact, and like it's multiplied by like 8,000? So I have these dreams where I'm like running, and I jump really high, and it's like the gravity is non-existent. Or it's like the gravity is a lot less than it actually is. So I'm jumping really high but really slowly. But then the gravity just like picks up instantly when I reach the peak, and I fall extremely hard to the ground. I've always had those a lot, but I was having them a lot recently, so that really sucks. Wake up and I go, oh Jesus Christ, what happened? It sucked. Um, Sliding story. I had this dream where I lived on like a beach area, and outside of my house, I would be able to jump out and slide on like a little sand slide or something. And a lot of people would be looking at the beach. And this sand slide would reach the beach, but you have to stop yourself before you get to the end of that slide, or else you'd go down to the beach where a bunch of lions lived, or you'd just be like flying really really far. So I didn't stop myself, and I was flying really far. And by the time I actually stopped, I looked around and it turned from daylight to nighttime instantly. And I was like, "Where am I? What's going on?" Then I looked out and I saw a line. I don't know when the GoPro turned off, but let me just say, let me finish my thoughts. Back to what I was talking about. Episode 9, Star Wars, whatever. The sliding lion dream. No, the jumping high, falling down dream. Jump really high, gravity's weird, and then I jump down really hard and it hurts. And I wake up. The sliding lion dream. I'd slide off of this house onto a sand slide, and I'd jump onto a beach. And I wasn't supposed to jump onto the beach, and people were screaming at me like, "Hey, you can't do that. Don't jump onto the beach." But I did anyways, and I flew really far away on the other side of the beach. And when I did that, there was a lion standing there, and I was like, "Oh no, what am I supposed to do?" So I walked very slowly in front of it, thinking it wouldn't notice. But it did. Then it pounced on me and started eating me, and it was eating me really slowly, and it hurt in the dream a lot. And then, even more so, it wouldn't end. The dream kept going, and I was being mauled by this lion really slowly. And I woke up and I was like, "What the hell was that?" You know? I've been getting a lot of weird dreams. But the last like weird dream I can really remember, or there's two more. But the last one I wrote down was this traveling photo shoot that I had, where across the summer, during the summer, I this lady asked me to join her on a photo shoot going across the country, and I said, "Sure, why not? Let's go take these awesome pictures everywhere." So it'd be like at a high school, and with like a bunch of lockers in the background, or it'd be outside, and we traveled by a yellow school bus. And this woman was like a very attractive blonde woman, but she was insecure about her arms because she had muscly, really muscly, manly, muscly arms. And it was weird. It was like she would want to show her arms. I was like, "Why?" And then she took off her jacket, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, those arms are huge. You're jacked." And then I woke up. I was like, "What the hell was that?" Traveling photo shoot with a very attractive woman, but she's insecure about her manly, muscly arms. It was weird. And then the last current dream that I had was I walked into the back bathroom that we have, and there's a bunch of turtles hanging on the wall. I don't know why, I don't know how, but there was just like a bunch of turtles just like flat on the wall, like they were ants. And I was like, why? Why did this have to happen? Why do these dumb dreams have to happen to me? But anyways, I guess that's it. Now here's the last thing I want to talk about. That if no one's gonna watch this all the way through, I'm gonna not take out the section, but I'm gonna take this section and make it into its own video. I don't know why my GoPro does this. It's really pissing me off. But anyways, I finished dreams about the turtles, I believe. And if I didn't, there's just turtles on the wall when I walk into the bathroom, and that's it. But This is the section I'm going to take out of this video and make into its own video where I talk about 2 movies that I've seen in 2020. Can you guess what they are? Onward and Trolls World Tour. Um, so I wanted to talk about Trolls first, not Trolls. I mean, let's talk about Onward first. This is going to be a combo movie review section where I talk about 2 movies that I saw, and this is going to be Onward. Um, let's see the directing duo. I think it was 2 people that directed it, or just one guy. I should have wrote it down before, but I forgot. Onward director Dan Scanlon is what it says. He directed Monsters University. So Onward is directed by Dan Scanlon, who directed Monsters University before directing Onward. And it tells the story of 2 brothers who are elves. No, they're the frick are they? I don't know what they are. They're like blue elves or goblins or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, they live in this medieval world that's in the future where magic doesn't exist anymore and everything's technology. And the cars, light switches, whatever. So Ian, I believe his name is, the younger brother, is turning 16. He lives at home with his mother. He lives at home with his older brother. And he doesn't have a father. His father passed away before he was born. So the story of this is that he had a gift from his father that he left behind where he could be brought back for one day using a spell. The older brother tries it and the younger brother does. The older brother can't do magic. The younger brother can. So when he accidentally doesn't do the spell right, only the legs are brought back of the father. So they go on a quest to find this gem to bring back to redo the spell to bring back their father because he can only be back for one day. I like the story. I will say this: I like the movie. The animation's really well. I like the story, but I feel the story is jumbled at a lot of points. I don't like the setting. I don't think it was appropriate for it to be in the future. For it, not in the future, but I don't think it was appropriate to have like a modern setting for this movie. Because it didn't really seem to have a reason for it to be with cars and for it to be with modern technology. There wasn't a reason for it. And when you watch the movie, it plays out like you'd imagine a movie like this playing out, even if it was without the modern setting. The modern setting just seemed to be weird, and a weird creative choice for it. Because even though the characters aren't in the modern setting for a long time, they're outside in the wilderness, and they're going through temples and stuff. So there doesn't need to be a need for this modern stuff. The story could have been easily told without the modern stuff, and it was kind of distracting for a while. The voice acting's good. Tom Holland did the voice acting for the younger brother. Chris Pratt did the voice acting for the older brother. And I hear a lot of people say this, but Jack Black should have been the older brother. And I agree, but I don't mind because I think Chris Pratt did a good job in his own rights. What else can I say about this movie? It's been a month since I've seen it, really. And I don't know why I didn't do a movie review at first. I wanted to do this for the podcast and do what I'm doing right now, take it out and make it its own movie review. But I just never got around to it. But I do have a lot to say about it. I like the story. I like the journey these characters go on. But there's a lot it presents that doesn't seem to pay off really well. There's a point where they talk about the older brother being a screw up, and the younger brother isn't trying to say it that he's a screw up. So they talk about it for like a minute, and then they drop it like right after. And I was like, you can't bring something up like that and drop it like a couple minutes later. Like that could be something really impactful for the rest of the story. I'm not gonna spoil the movie though, because I'm pretty sure people haven't seen it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it originally because I thought the trailers looked really bad. I think Pixar more recently is notorious for making bad trailers for their movies. All the trailers are Finding Dory for Toy Story 4. It's even Onward right now. All the trailers looked terrible. And I knew I was gonna see those movies, and I did. But the trailers for Onward just didn't seem good, and I didn't want to watch it initially. But I did with my family, and I liked it. And something Pixar does really good with their movies is music and emotions. Their music is good for everything, whether it be they're being chased down, whether it be they're running, whether it be they're doing an action scene, whether it's an emotional scene. The music is really good in all those aspects. And in terms of emotions, what Onward does is it really gets you emotional because I can never say I can experience what these characters are going through, but I can understand with the way they present it. Like they want to see their dad, they want to see their father. They can only do it for one day, but they messed up and they have to do it as they have to go on this journey as quick as they can. The younger brother can't. The younger brother can perform magic, but not proficiently. The older brother knows how to do magic, but he can't perform it. Like he knows all the functions of it, but he can't perform it. So that these two characters have to bond throughout it. They have to bond throughout the course of this movie, while trying to find this gem to bring back their father. And I like the journey they go on, and I like the choice that they made at the end of it. But it doesn't feel as earned as it should have because a lot of these issues that these brothers have with each other, it gets they have an issue and it doesn't seem to get resolved. Like the screw up side story. Like that seems like something really good that can happen, but just it doesn't come into play later on in the story. There's a side plot involving their mom's boyfriend, and he doesn't have a single place in this movie. He's there for no reason at all. I didn't like his character. I didn't. It's not. I didn't. I didn't not like his character. I just didn't think he fit for the story. Like I don't know. It's weird. And his arc is he doesn't use a car at the end of the movie. He runs because he's like a half horse, half troll thing, whatever. Like okay, good job. I'm not trying to dog on this movie because I really liked it. It's just not Pixar's best because they're not the Pixar they used to be. But I'm glad they're making original content and not sequels like Cars and Toy Stories. But it's a good movie in its own rights. I got really teary eyed in a couple of scenes because Pixar does a good job with their emotions. They do a good job with the music. A good story, but I just didn't like how it was presented for the most part. There's cool action, there's cool stuff with the magic scenes. I like the bond that these brothers had for the most part. I like the resolution, but it's just a good movie. And that's all I can say about it. It's nowhere near their best movies. And if you want to watch it, it's on Disney Plus. I'll give this movie a B. It's just like it's good. That's all I can say about it. I like it. And on the other hand, we got another animated film that I might like just as much. This is Trolls World Tour. Now, let me just say this. I don't like the first Trolls movie. I watched it back when it came out on like Redbox or something. No, we got it on DVD. I think we have it on a Blu-ray. And I'll say this for the first Trolls movie. It looks really nice, and the animators did a really good job with it. I don't like anything else about it though. Trolls World Tour, however, I like the story. Um, there's like the types of music, and they all have like a string, like a guitar or whatever, or like those the harps that you hold. I don't know what those are, and they're split up into different kingdoms, and the trolls are being attacked by the rock and roll trolls because they want everything to be rock and roll. And the main character Poppy, who is now queen of the pop trolls, that's what they are, pop trolls. They're going on this journey to save all the strings because everything can't be rock and roll. Because, pop's cool. But then it gets into the idea of, no, everyone's their own person and not everyone's going to like only one thing. Everyone's different. It's a good message for kids, And in that aspect, I think they presented that idea well. And yet again, the animation here is amazing. The animators had a lot of freedom to choose how to animate specific things. A lot of things have a lot of fur on it. A lot of people seem like to glitch out. A lot of the trolls seem to be glitching because they're funk trolls. They seem to be like moving in a different way, not smoothly. Things have a lot of good fur on them. Just the animation is really well. I like the presentation of the animation. I don't like the characters, however. I don't like the journey these characters go on. I don't like all the side characters that these characters have. Before I go on, I want to know who directed this, just so I can say, because I do it with every movie review. If you want to watch this movie, it's on Prime. It's on VOD, whatever. Trolls 2 director. I watched this when it came out like a month ago, and I liked it. Okay, director. My goodness, a lot of people. But who's the director? Not Troll 2. Hold on. Trolls World Tour director. Walt Dorn. I believe that's it. And David P. Smith as a co-director. I believe that's it. Yeah, so that duo co-directed this movie. I'll say that. Okay, I like the story of this movie. I don't like how the story is presented, though. Because I don't like a lot of the side characters. And I don't like the journey that these characters go on. Because Poppy seems a lot more naive and annoying than she did in the previous movie. I don't like a lot of the music in this movie, too. And I like the rock covers of some of the rock songs. Like Crazy Train. And like Barracuda, I think. But like with all the other songs, I was like, why does there have to be like a song played every 10 minutes? I know it's a musical, but the energy is up in this movie. The energy is fast and moving in this movie. Like, you never get a break to just sit down and take in like what just happened. There's like montages of characters singing a song to just to sing the song in the beginning of the movie. When you see Poppy and all those characters, they're just singing a bunch of songs about how their day is going. And then when they get into the country, when they find the country trolls, they're like, oh, these people seem really sad because they're talking about death in their country song. So let's sing a bunch of pop songs, and they sing a bunch of pop songs, and it's annoying. But that's the entire movie. Usually with musicals, the songs propel the plot, and they only do that once in this movie, and that's when they reveal a big part of the movie, a big turning point in the movie, and with the characters in their journey. But besides that, it's a lot of weird humor throughout this movie. But I did laugh a lot. This is a pretty funny movie, and I didn't think I'd like this movie, but I kind of did, just because the animation is really nice, and I like the story. I like the message it's trying to portray, but the presentation of the story didn't work for me a lot. I don't like a lot of these characters, especially the side characters. And they're really annoying, and they take away from the pacing of the movie, making it a lot more slow than it actually is. But I will say I had a decent time with this movie. I liked it. I don't hate it. And I'm going to give this movie a B minus. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that, and I think I'm okay with never seeing this movie ever again. I don't hate it. I just don't want to watch it again. But it's a fine movie. I think people can get enjoyment out of this. Kids will definitely get a kick out of it. But if you're a parent, if you're someone watching a kid and you put it on, I don't think you'll hate yourself. I'll hate myself if I put on Frozen 2 because I think that movie was terrible. I think this movie's better than Frozen 2, but it's still a fine movie on itself. Um, yeah, so that's that. That's the movie review section on this whole shebang right here. And yeah, that's it. So subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, share it with other people if you like podcasts, if you like movie reviews. That's the end of that for the movie review section. Um, I guess that's it for this episode of the Slice Podcast, episode 8, where I give you a slice of my mind. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez. And, share this video with other people, if they like podcasts. I think I'll be trying to do a lot more podcasts since I have a lot of time on my hands. Decided to do one today because why not? I'll be coming out with more content like this. I'll be watching more movies soon, hopefully. I've been watching a lot of movies actually for my classes, but they're not newer releases, and I don't think I'd be wanting to do movie reviews based on them. I mean, I like them. I liked Peeping Tom. We watched something called Peeping Tom. Um, what did we watch for feminism, though? Okay, now I'm curious what we watched for for the feminism chapter. What was that? Oh yeah, we watched something called Blue Velvet. No, not The Blue Angel. Really good movie too. I believe it's an old German movie, an old Russian movie, one of those two. But anyways, good movie. Anyways, getting off track here. I'm gonna end the podcast right now. Okay, so like this video if you did. Share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you thought about what I've been talking about in this podcast today. I had a really good time just sitting here and talking, doing my shtick, doing my shebang because I like talking. I like my podcast. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, be safe out there, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. Bye.